On Air
It's a Blair Witch Project.
Outside WZMX Hot 93.7's On Air Idiot Show.
Yeah,
Big man k-dubasis.
Yeah. You know I had to come through.
Asher, off the jump, we just want to give you a gift, man.
Yeah.
It's an OnAirIdiots.com t-shirt.
Yes.
And you got to do us a favor. In order to be an idiot, you cannot iron it. You got to keep it like this.
Trust me, man. Look at this. Think got iron t-shirts, bro. Think got iron t-shirts. There's no such thing, man. Plus I'm in like, I feel like I'm going through Hell Week right now, man. I can't eat, not allowed to sleep. I feel like I'm being hazed as I get this whole CD popping, this whole promotion thing.
Yeah.
You can smoke.
You know, I can smoke. That's about it.
Okay, that's
You on a smoke diet?
About it, yeah.
Smoke diet?
It's pretty nice when you can kind of just go into a city and they just give you some weed.
There you go.
They appreciate it.
See, that's the
They appreciate it.
welcome to town.
They do appreciate my extracurricular
Now,
activities.
how was the UK? Because it was your first time out in the UK.
The UK was a blast. You know, it's really gray over there, man. That's the only thing.
But when you were doing the Westwood thing,
Yeah.
they were throwing Eminem.
What was that about, man? You know,
I heard it and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna be a stiff about it either. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna be like, oh, come on, man. You know what I mean? I was just like, you kind of just had to run with it. You can't take it too seriously. But at the same time, I mean, that's Westwood. You know what I mean? That's kind of how he gets down.
I was just like, oh no, let the dude live.
But at the same time, it was cool, man. I think that was actually, you know, when we called out his age on the
I heard that.
He was kind of bummed out about that. But at the same time, man, that's, you know, that was the whole fun of it. So I think it kind of worked out for the best. And in essence, at the same time, people could hear me rap over that and be like, oh, dude's just.
And I gotta appreciate you because you were going off the top a lot.
I mean, that's just how. And that's what people are saying.
Not a lot of artists will go off the top.
That's what people were saying was just like, yo, it's cool that you're bringing that back because people don't like really do that. And like, you know, am I a big battle rapper? No, but I very much appreciate cypher rapping. So,
Now, just looking at hip hop right now, what's your thoughts on the state of hip hop?
Well, it's interesting right now at this instance. I think that it's kind of, you know, it's dangling by a thread, but that's, you know, that's due to a lot of different aspects. I mean, you see, the motivation is kind of wrong. The people that like, it's kind of got twisted into like hip hop is some get rich quick scheme.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like so twisted. If people actually knew what it takes to be successful in hip hop, they'd be like, "Word, I'm going to stay in school, or I'm going to do this instead." You know what I mean? Because it's a long process. It's grueling. Like I was just complaining. I was like, I feel like I'm being hazed. Like you don't sleep, you don't eat. Like you're constantly moving around. So you know, but at the same time, I feel like hip hop is actually in very much good hands because I was in that XXL shoot with those 10 kids, and even some that weren't there, like Pac Div and the cool kids are very much friends of mine. So you know, those 10 MCs, there was a lot of dudes that like really had the same mentality I had, and I was just like, let's do something progressive, let's move this forward rather than just sit here and talk like of how great we are the whole time.
I've been talking about that shoot. It's like each of you guys were asked, you know, what's the future of hip hop?
Right.
And it was interesting to hear some of the questions because you had some guys who had what could be termed as an arrogant answer, like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yours was a little different.
Yeah, I think what I say, everybody on this cover or something like that, which to me was just kind of an obvious answer, but the you know, that was their whole point, was the class of '09, this is the future of hip hop. So I was just kind of, it's not really a smart ass answer, but at the same time it was just like, look, you know, the future of hip hop is right in front of your face. But at the same time, I mean, for me, I think like music itself is very cyclical. And I think that's what's happening with hip hop. And in essence, it's moving back to the form of just having fun and expressing yourself and uplifting music, rather than being like, I'm all the way up here, you guys can't see me because you don't have this. It's rather like I would much rather be on a level playing field with my audience and be like, oh, what's up, guys? You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, that's something that.
Well, luckily, Kanye kind of broke down the doors with putting out records on the radio that aren't. You know, they're commercial, but they're not. But they're more conscious.
And no, that was a beautiful thing about what Kanye was doing. And I hope he realized it, but maybe he didn't even realize what he was doing. And it's artists like Kanye and myself that are going to open the door for artists in the future. And that's what I think is going to be special about my project. Is not only is it for me, it's for a lot of aspiring kids who are like 14, 15 right now. Yeah. And write me and be like, yo, you are everything that I look for in inspiration.
And Kanye just bigged you up in a blog.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. That was crazy. So we are getting the appropriate looks and everything like that, but there's a lot of work to do. The journey just began.
Yeah. Let's talk about lyricism. Do you think it's an art form that's underappreciated at this time?
Absolutely. Well, you know, the funny thing was it Plies? Was it Plies who said that the days of lyricism are over? It was somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know what? At the same time, man, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste the listener's time. I think when you put something out, it should have content to it. You know what I mean? There should be something that people take away from it. And I feel like more often than not, people will listen to a verse from myself and they'll be like, I always get something. You always leave me with something. There's never just an empty verse. You know what I mean? So for me, that's very important. Is it something that's underappreciated? For the most part, because you see that the lyricists in the game aren't the ones getting the radio play and the ones getting like the actual notoriety. But they are respected. And I think that's something that I look for. What Kweli says, when people say that your joint is hot, they say that they respect you. And that's something that's way more important to me than, yo, I like your song. I'd rather people be like, yo, I really like what you're doing. You know what I mean? So,
or you can just be like a down south artist and we can make up a hook right now.
Yeah, you know.
Like, we're in the parking lot.
Well, we could just be like,
we're in the
parking
lot.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Chicken wings on a t-shirt.
And it's sad but true. It's funny because it's true though.
Yeah, it is. It is. We make fun of it all the time on the radio. So.
And you know, the interesting part about that is a lot of people try to separate it, and a lot of people talk about it in different ways. And one person who really pointed something out to me, and I was like, wow, was Joski Love.
Yeah.
I saw an old interview with him, and he's like, you know, people bash a lot of the music that's out right now. And he's like, let's say, for instance, he used Soulja Boy as a reference point. And he said, what's so different about his song and the Pee Wee Dance? It's like my song is considered a classic, and his song is bashed by everyone.
Right, for sure.
And I was like, he said, there's a lane in hip hop for everything. And
it's true.
You know, just listening to that statement, I was like, you know, wow, that's kind of a powerful statement.
It's really interesting, but even now, man, it's kind of crazy because you have the internet, which is like totally as much as it's used for marketing and everything. It's 100% to anonymously slander people. Like people just jump on the internet and like just hate.
Sure.
You
put a YouTube video up, there's gonna be a bunch of bloggers.
Exactly. So back really there wasn't any internet, so things were what they were, and you know what I mean. And it was kind of just like, it was easier to accept some stuff. Now everybody in the world's got an opinion. So it's just like, man, come on.
And it's terrible because 9 times out of 10,
it's discouraging.
They're trying to be an artist, and
I mean, for instance, my buddy B.O.B. is my buddy, and he was having a hard time because he was just getting he was really getting discouraged from really doing what he wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
And I called him. I was like, man, when you were just a kid in high school or whatever like that, and we were talking about this, and you didn't have a song on the radio. None of those people's opinions mattered, and now suddenly that you're in the limelight, you're gonna let those people affect what you're saying. And he was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I do. And I think that's the same thing. Like, I've been on the blogs before, and I see what people say about me, and like, I don't even go on the blogs anymore. I'm just like, there's nothing positive. Even if someone was bigging me up huge, that just gives me a big head.
Yeah.
So, there's like, it's just like, forget it. But at the same time,
it's part of the deal.
Yeah, the positive and negative, you have to use that negative. It's like, if everything was positive, it would be a lopsided scale. Like, so you need to use that negative as an inspiration.
This video right now will go up on YouTube, and people will write underneath,
and
there may be some good.
That's just so whack, that's just gay, bro.
And there may be some bad.
Whatever, man.
That's just part of show business in any form, any aspect.
No, for sure. But that's the thing, and that's what we were talking about Kanye West. He put himself on a chopping block. He knew what people were gonna say, and he said, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna do what I do, and that's something that I kind of like. Man, I really respect that. I'm doing the same thing, man. Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, he don't care.
The good part is,
we're talking about
he doesn't pay attention,
and that's what it is.
But at the same time, like I think that's kind of weird because we all are human beings,
right?
And so at some point, you can have this whole public facade of like, I'm not even paying attention.
Yeah.
But when you go home, I've suffered from it. I've been like, damn, man, like that was hurtful.
Yeah.
But you have to have a short-term memory. It's like a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You throw a pick, you got to come back in. You'll be like, all right, I'm not going to stress about throwing a pick again.
Yeah.
I just got to go out there and throw the football.
Yeah.
Right.
You just got to keep going,
now,
keep it moving.
I noticed that you have a DJ with you. And that's one thing that I'm noticing with a lot of artists. Like,
he's a real DJ too. He doesn't just press buttons. No offense to anybody who just press buttons.
No offense to those who press buttons.
My man,
because you're not really a DJ.
He juggles. He does the whole kit and caboodle.
If you press buttons, you are not a DJ.
Yeah, so I mean, but we have a DJ. We have the drummer.
You are a computer technician. You are not a DJ.
Yeah, you got the band going and everything. You know, it's a good look. You're reaching out there to a whole nother audience.
Yeah.
Obviously, the college song is really
Yeah, man.
touching that genre right there. So
I try to. It's funny because the name is still ahead of the image.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of go through the airport and singing it, and you can tell people it's like, what? I know the song, but who's that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's starting to pick up a little bit, but you know, you can kind of feel it. You know, you can kind of feel the excitement, man. And that's all I'm about. I'm just happy that people are excited for a project again, man. Just excited to be like, what's gonna happen over here? You know what I mean? Rather than just be like, man, whatever. I've heard that a million times.
Now, I also saw an interview you did where you were saying that you thought, in your opinion, that Pharoah Monch was the most underrated rapper.
Yeah, him
ever.
Him and Tariq Trotter, Black Thought.
Okay.
Black Thought and Pharoah Monch are two of the most underrated MCs.
I'm gonna give you another one. In my opinion, I think Redman.
Redman, no, for sure.
I think Redman.
For sure.
He's very underrated.
He's gotten some love though. You know what I mean? Pharaoh's like, he's so dope, and people don't even know.
Yeah,
it's because they just don't get it. Like Redman, you know, his humor has allowed him to kind of break through on a sense of like how high.
Yeah.
But Redman, like people do not understand how like lyrically how dope he is.
Right. True indeed.
No, I feel you, man. But no, we actually the underrated MC conversation has been going on as of late, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a good conversation to have.
Yeah, it is.
Because rather than talking about like Britney Spears and shit like that, it's like let's talk about the people who never get talked about. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Look at someone like Joe Budden.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know?
He's doing his thing right now through Sirius Satellite and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
No, I'm happy to see that he has taken an alternate route because you know you hit a rough patch, but you don't discourage that from
his
stopping.
fans stuck with him, man.
You know what I mean?
That's what it's about, is being, you know, having your core audience.
Absolutely.
And your core audience stays with you for the rest of your career.
That's what I'm trying to do, man, is set up a foundation. If you can build foundation, that's why I didn't want to shoot to #1 on the charts and have a bunch of like, you know, gold diggers and fake fans. I was like, let's start here, build a foundation, and then when you fall, you're still gonna have some guys be like, I got you, man, keep going. You know what I mean? So, because it's inevitable, man. Everyone has. Once you're hot, everybody's around you, man.
Yeah.
But once it happens to everybody, you're gonna hit a rough patch, and you need to be able to get back on your own too. And having that foundation of fans.
Are you ready for somebody to attack you lyrically?
We'll see,
get
man.
into that mode. You know it's gonna happen eventually.
We'll see. I'm honestly not worried about that stuff, to be honest with you, because I know what I'm capable of at the same time. But do I want to like spend energy on that stuff? To me, it's just like, go over there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if you're gonna hate on stuff, just like, don't even hate on. Just don't listen to it. You know what I mean? But like, in the same aspect, sometimes you gotta protect what's yours. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But I'm really not concerned. I'm concerned on really getting this album out, promoting it, and that negative energy, man, is just like kick it to the curb.
And you got a big performance tonight.
You know, a big performance tonight at Toad's Place, opening for Common, which is, I think, you know, an Asher Roth Common show. I would go see that. I would absolutely go see that. So if you guys have the chance, man, stop through.
Yeah, well, we're on the air tonight. So, you know, maybe you and Common are gonna have to check in through the phone, you know, after the show, and you know, we'll let the people know how it went and all that.
You already know.
Idiots.
Daily
Asher
Kush,
Roth.
on air idiots.
Bad Kev.
Peace to you guys. Hold it down, man.
Yeah.
On air idiots.